Have you ever felt discouraged when faced with a difficult task that felt insurmountable? Or have you ever wondered how you can turn those challenges into opportunities for personal growth? If the answer is yes, then this video is for you. Imagine waking up one day with dozens of tasks to complete, but just thinking about them makes you want to give up. You've probably experienced this feeling. The work piles up, the pressure never stops, and it seems like everything is against you. But did you know that each of us has a hidden power, a way to trick our brains and turn difficult tasks into stepping stones to success? The question is there a way to make difficult tasks easier? The short answer is yes, and not just one way, but many ways. In this video, Morgan shares with you the secrets of Stoicism, a classic philosophy that is still extremely effective in facing challenges. We will learn how to change your perspective, how to adjust your thinking, and specific methods to help you turn the impossible into possible. Just think, if you could master your brain, make it work for you instead of against you, how would your life change? Do you think that just changing a few small habits can make a big difference in your life? Morgan is confident that what you are about to learn will not only help you complete more difficult tasks, but also help you live a happier and more meaningful life. Before we begin, Morgan has a small request. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to become a part of this wonderful community, and leave a comment with the content, "I am ready to conquer." This mantra will serve as a reminder of perseverance and determination in the face of challenges. Comment now, as it will not only affirm your commitment, but also help YouTube spread this message to as many people as possible who need to hear it. Are you ready to change your life? Once you are ready to conquer, the first step Morgan wants you to explore is how we perceive challenges in life. Have you ever realized that it is our perspective that determines whether a difficult task becomes a burden or an opportunity for growth? When we change our perspective, things that used to make us anxious suddenly become easier, even more enjoyable. Let Morgan learn how to shift your perspective, a small but powerful transformation that helps you turn obstacles into meaningful experiences. Number 1. Shift your perspective. Let Morgan tell you a short story that few people know about one of the greatest presidents of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Have you ever wondered how a person can overcome heavy failures, extreme pain, and still keep faith? Lincoln, throughout his difficult life, had to face countless difficulties. He failed in business, lost loved ones, and even lost elections multiple times, but he persevered. His secret? It was the ability to change perspective, a skill that Stoic philosophy encourages us to practice. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus have long believed that how we see the world determines our happiness and success. They argued that it is not the events that happen to us that determine our lives, but how we see and respond to them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you encounter difficulties from the outside, the suffering is not a result of the events, but of your view of them." What if we could turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth rather than seeing them as insurmountable challenges? Morgan believed that when you change your perspective, you not only change your experience, but you change who you are. Think about a challenge you are facing right now. Do you see it as an insurmountable obstacle or as a valuable lesson from life? Imagine how your life would change if you could see this challenge as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. Christianity offers a similar message. In the Bible, Jesus teaches us, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away food, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable?" This reminds us that if we trust in God and the journey He has laid out for us, nothing is too difficult to overcome. Even when we do not see the path ahead, we can trust that every challenge has its meaning. The practice of shift your perspective is not only a powerful tool in Stoic philosophy, but also an expression of trust in God's providence. Morgan understands that this is not easy. We often get caught up in a whirlwind of emotions, fear and anxiety. But remember, both Marcus Aurelius and Jesus taught that change begins within us. When you begin to shift your perspective, you will find that every challenge is an opportunity for you to become better, stronger, and happier. Morgan wants you to try a simple exercise. Think of a situation where you are feeling anxious or stressed. Now ask yourself, if I changed my perspective, if I saw it as an opportunity instead of a challenge, what would happen? Morgan believes that with just this small shift in thinking, you will see extraordinary things begin to appear in your life. Before we wrap up, Morgan wants to hear from you. Have you ever changed your perspective on something and realized it changed your life? Or is there something in your life that you think you need to change your perspective on right now? Leave a comment below and share your story. Morgan would love to hear from you, and maybe your story will inspire others. Remember, changing your perspective isn't just a way to deal with challenges, it's a way to live a meaningful and happy life. Once we change our perspective and start seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, we have taken the first powerful step. But Morgan knows that to turn this mindset shift into concrete action, we need to go a little further. Let's take Morgan one step further. This is when we learn how to reframe the challenges before us, not just by changing our perspective, but by turning them into clear, achievable, and even desirable goals. Are you ready for Morgan to guide you on the next step on this journey? Number 2, reframe the challenge. What helped people like Henry Ford, billionaires who changed the world, overcome seemingly impossible challenges? They not only saw difficulties in a positive light, but also had a special ability. They knew how to reframe, turning every obstacle into an opportunity for creativity and growth. Let's start with the story of Henry Ford, who completely changed the automobile industry. Ford faced many challenges, from facing fierce opposition from competitors to difficulties in implementing modern production lines. But instead of letting these difficulties discourage him, Ford reshaped them. He did not see barriers, but opportunities for improvement. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asked, "How can I use this to my advantage?" This question completely changed his life and the history of the automobile industry. Stoic philosophy teaches that we have great power to choose how we perceive and reshape the challenges that life presents. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoics, once said, "We are only what we think. All that we are is what our thoughts make us. With that in mind, we build our world." This means that it is not the challenges that define us, but how we reframe those challenges that determine who we become. When you face a difficult task, Morgan wants you to try a new approach. Reframe it. Instead of seeing an insurmountable mountain, see it as an opportunity to build your strength. Instead of seeing a wall blocking the way, see it as an opportunity to find a new path. When you change the way you frame the problem itself begins to change in the way you see it. Christianity also teaches us about the power of reframing challenges. In the Bible, Jesus frequently talks about seeing hardship and suffering as part of the journey of faith. He teaches that every challenge we face is an opportunity to grow closer to God, to strengthen our faith and patience. In the letter to the believers of James, the Bible says, "Consider it all joy in your trials, because through them your faith is made perfect." This shows that from a Christian perspective, reframing challenges is not only a strategy for overcoming difficulties, but also part of the spiritual journey, helping us grow and become closer to God. Let's reflect with Morgan. Is there a challenge you are facing that can be reframed? Instead of seeing it as a burden, can you see it as a valuable lesson, an opportunity for growth? We can learn from great people like Henry Ford, from the Stoics, and from the teachings of Christ himself, that every challenge is a gift if we know how to perceive and reframe it. When you change the way you frame a challenge, you not only change the outcome, but you also change who you are. Challenges are no longer enemies, but teachers. You will begin to see that each time you overcome a difficulty, you not only get closer to your goals, but you also become stronger, wiser, and more determined. Have you ever reframed a challenge in your life? What changed when you looked at it differently? Morgan believes that by sharing, we not only learn from each other, but also spread the power of positive change to many others. Remember, reframing challenges is not only a necessary life skill, but also a way for you to live an inspired and happy life. When we learn to reframe challenges and turn them into opportunities for growth, we take a step closer to mastering our lives. But Morgan knows that no matter how good we are at reframing problems, there will always be times when we feel pressured by the outcome. That's when a bolder move is needed. Learn to detach yourself from the end result. Because when we focus too much on the destination, we easily forget the beauty and value of the journey. Morgan will help you discover how to free your mind from the bondage of the outcome so that you can find true peace and joy in each step. Number 3, detach from outcome. Did you know that in a recent survey of the world's most successful people, 75% said that focusing too much on the end result made them lose joy in the journey? We are always told to set goals and achieve them, but few people tell us that sometimes it is our attachment to the outcome that causes us to feel stressed, frustrated, and even unhappy. Morgan wants to share with you an important lesson from Stoic philosophy about how to detach yourself from the outcome to find true peace and joy in life. Let's start with a story from the life of one of the famous mentors, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah went through difficult times when she placed too much expectation on achieving specific success, and this sometimes made her feel disappointed when things did not go as expected. But then Oprah realized that instead of focusing on the end result, she needed to focus on living well in each moment of the journey. It was this change that helped her find true joy and meaning in life, overcoming failures and hardships to become one of the most influential women in the world. Stoic philosophy teaches us that everything that happens in life is not entirely within our control. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not the events that happen to us, but how we react to them that determines our lives." When we focus too much on the end result, we are easily caught up in feelings of disappointment when things do not go as expected. This makes us easily lose our balance and peace of mind. Morgan wants you to ask yourself, when you focus too much on the outcome, do you feel like you are losing joy in the process? Do you ever feel stressed when things do not go as expected? If the answer is yes, then it is a sign that you need to learn to detach yourself from the outcome. This doesn't mean you give up on your goals or stop caring about success, but rather you learn to find happiness in each step of the journey, regardless of the outcome. Think about a situation you are facing. Can you change your perspective and focus on living life to the fullest, doing your best, without worrying too much about the end result? This will help you not only reduce stress, but also enjoy life more fully. In the Bible, we are taught that faith and trust in God are more important than any outcome. Jesus taught, "Consider the flowers of the field, they neither toil nor weave, yet even Solomon in all his splendor was not arrayed like one of these." This reminds us that true value lies not in what we achieve, but in how we live, love, and contribute. Morgan has always believed that when we learn to detach ourselves from the outcome, we will find true freedom. It is the freedom from being bound by expectations, from being controlled by things beyond our control. This is also the way we can live a meaningful and happy life, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. Have you ever experienced disappointment because you focused too much on the outcome and forgot the value of the journey? Or is there a situation in your current life that you think you need to change your perspective to find peace and joy? Remember, true peace comes from knowing how to let go, from learning to live in the present, not worrying too much about the final result. If you learn to detach yourself from the outcome and find peace in each step of the journey, you will free your mind from unnecessary stress. But Morgan understands that to truly master the challenges in life, we need an even more powerful tool. That is the use of negative visualization, a seemingly paradoxical technique that helps us mentally prepare to face all difficulties. Let's explore with Morgan how imagining the worst possible scenarios can not only help you be more prepared, but also appreciate what you have more. Number 4, use negative visualization. Let's start with the story of Thomas Edison, the great inventor with thousands of inventions that changed the world. Edison was not only famous for his inventions, but also for his spirit of never giving up, even in the face of failure. He once said, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." But did you know that one of Edison's secrets to keeping moving forward was his ability to visualize failures and hardships in advance? A technique the Stoics called negative visualization. Today, Morgan wants to share with you how this technique not only helped Edison, but can also help us face the biggest challenges in life. Negative visualization is the act of actively imagining the worst possible scenarios that could happen. It sounds negative, but it is actually a powerful way to mentally prepare ourselves, helping us not to be surprised or panic when difficulties arise. Stoic philosophy, with masters like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, taught that by visualizing risks and losses in advance, we can reduce fear, anxiety, and thereby live a more peaceful life. Seneca once said, "Remember that everything is lost, and when it is lost, we realize that it is not essential." This not only helps us prepare mentally, but also makes us appreciate what we have more. Think about your life for a moment. Do you ever worry about the worst that could happen? Morgan knows that feeling is not pleasant, but imagine if you actively faced those thoughts, imagined all the worst scenarios that could happen, you would find that they would not be so scary. Because when you are mentally prepared for the worst, everything that happens becomes easier. Morgan wants you to try applying this technique in your daily life. Take a moment to imagine the difficulties you might face in the future. What if your job doesn't work out? What if your relationship is in trouble? Are you facing a major challenge in your life? Imagine it, but don't dwell on it. Think about how you will face it, how you will overcome it, and how you will come out stronger from it. Morgan believes that when you have imagined and prepared for the worst, you will find life much easier. You will no longer be afraid or anxious, because you will know that no matter what happens, you will be able to face it and overcome it. This is a skill that not only the Stoics, but also successful people like Edison used to achieve great things. In the Bible, we are taught that life is not always easy, but we can always find comfort and hope in our faith in God. Jesus said, "In the world you will have trouble, but take courage, because I have overcome the world." This reminds us that no matter what challenges we face, we can overcome them if we prepare ourselves and trust in God. Have you ever used the technique of negative visualization in your life? Have you imagined the worst that could happen and felt more prepared to face them? Visualizing difficulties is not to make us afraid, but to prepare ourselves and appreciate what we have more. Discovering the power of negative visualization and learning how to prepare for the worst is a big step in building resilience. But Morgan believes that to truly master ourselves and face any challenge, we need to go further. That is, to proactively step into difficult situations by practicing intentional endurance. Join Morgan in exploring how willingly embracing hardship can make us stronger and better prepared for any obstacle in life. Number 5. Practice voluntary discomfort. What helped great explorers like Sir Ernest Shackleton overcome unimaginable challenges? Shackleton, who led the endurance expedition on a survival journey to the South Pole, faced bitter cold, hunger and despair for months. What helped him and his crew not only survive, but also stay strong? The secret lies in being willing to face hardship, even willingly embracing it. This is the philosophy of practice voluntary discomfort that Morgan wants to share with you. In Stoic philosophy, voluntarily experiencing hardship is not about seeking suffering, but about training resilience and preparing for the unexpected. Epictetus, one of the famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "Nothing is more terrible to the soul than to have never faced privation or hardship." The idea here is simple but profound. When we voluntarily enter difficult situations, we not only become stronger, but also reduce our fear and anxiety when faced with adversity. Imagine that you are voluntarily taking on small challenges in your daily life, perhaps exercising on a cold morning, reducing your comfort by giving up a comfortable routine, or challenging yourself with new tasks that you know will be difficult. When you voluntarily do this, you are training your mind and body to handle more difficult things in the future. You become more resilient, stronger, and less affected by the difficulties that life may bring. Morgan knows that you may be asking yourself, why should I make things difficult for myself when life is already complicated enough? The answer lies in the fact that when you actively embrace difficulty, you develop a kind of inner strength that no circumstance can defeat. You will know that no matter what challenges come your way, you are prepared, not only physically, but also mentally. Practicing voluntary discomfort also helps us appreciate the little things in life. When you challenge yourself to live frugally, reduce your dependence on material things, or endure difficult conditions, you will become more grateful for what you have. This will not only help you live a more meaningful life, but it will also help you stay strong in the face of adversity. Morgan wants you to think of something you can voluntarily challenge yourself to do. It could be giving up a comfortable habit or trying a new task that you have been avoiding. How about going one day without your phone, or challenging yourself to wake up an hour earlier each day to exercise? These small steps will help you build your inner strength and prepare you for the bigger challenges in life. Morgan believes that every small step you take will bring you closer to true resilience and happiness. Thank you for taking the time to join Morgan on this journey to discover the secrets of Stoic philosophy to master your mind and overcome all challenges. Morgan is truly grateful to be able to share these valuable lessons with you and hopes that they have given you a new perspective, a new inspiration to face life. Morgan always believes that each of us has a hidden strength, an extraordinary ability to turn difficulties into opportunities, and Morgan is happy to be able to accompany you on this path. Always remember that no matter what challenges await you, you are never alone. Morgan is here with you to build a happier and more meaningful life together. If today's sharing has brought value to you, Morgan hopes that you will continue to accompany her in the next topics. And don't forget, every day is a new opportunity for you to take control of your life, to love more, live more fully, and to keep growing. Leave a comment, "I'm ready to conquer," because it not only reminds us of the perseverance and determination in facing challenges, but also helps YouTube spread this message to many people who need to hear it. Morgan is looking forward to hearing more from you and will always be here, ready to accompany you on your journey to find happiness and peace. Thank you very much, and remember, you can do anything if you believe in yourself.